Part 3 in our midterm asks us to make another function such as a box count. And in part 1, you can remember the introduction to momentarily, start and stop push buttons. Part 2, we talked about the zone conversion using the wait reel. So in part 3, it asks us to use a visualization that provides a count of boxes and a wait for each zone, as we will need to create our own count and how many boxes go into which zone and what the total weight is for the zone. The box order, of course, just mentioned, it automatically counts and sorts the weight and box it comes into. Running the visualization not only shows the box count, like I said, it shows the weight. So if we run this thing, we will be able to see our zones right down here. Our box counts are going to be end up climbing up, and we'll be able to check out in the main function right here, which is our B count. This is our problem 3 function block right here, along with our total weight for the zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3. As you can see, we have 2 inputs for zone 1 and zone 2, zone 3 for input and output. I will explain later what happens between these numbers. So if we hit the start button on our conveyor sys, we should start adding, and I'm going to turn this down, we should start adding our box counts. So we're going to let this go. There we go. Zone 2 already has 2 box counts. Zone 3 has 3. Zone 2 has 7. So if we hit stop, we will be able to see our main and how much we have. So if you can go from zone 1, total weight. So zone 1 has 3 box counts, total weight's 37 pounds. If we go back to our main, zone 1 has 3, you can see that, and you can see 37.3 pounds for total weight. I'm sorry about the lines right here, just ended up working out, ended up making its own line and route, but I can still see the number 37.3 pounds. And if you go to zone 2, we can see our box count is at 9 and our total weight is at 203.7. So we go back to our main and we go to 9 counts right here for zone 2 and we have 203.7. And if we go to our zone 3, we have 10 counts and our pounds is 197.9. And we go back to our main and we got 10 counts for zone 3 and our total weight's looking like it's going to be 232 pounds. So it's just, I mean, I think it's not very accurate with the pounds wise on the third zone, but I can still see that the visualization automatically takes the boxes and adds the weight and the count. And in order to do our own problem, it wants us to do an exact visualization using our own function with less error. So if we're back here at the main, we can talk about the zones and how much are going into, right? All these, the counts, right? The box count. And you can see the pound size for each of them. So if you can go back to my zone divider, you can see that the total weight for zone 1 is going to be 37.3 and zone 2 is going to be 204, and if we go back we are 37.3 and 204. We go back to our zone and this one is going to be 332, which I said 232 earlier, but I was wrong. And as you can see, it's like the count is accurate, but the pounds on zone 3 is not, and my function would be more accurate, I believe. We can obviously run this again to see the count of this. Clear fault. We can also, so we're going to go back to our main and we're going to watch every one zone come in. So zone 2 back at 11, zone 4. Okay, so that's going to each zone as it keeps climbing up, and we stop right there. So we're just going to go stop, and then we're going to go look at each zone again to make sure it's reading accurately. So 5 counts for box 1, that should be 5, and then 15 for zone 2. 5 and 15, perfect, and perfect so far. And in zone 3, we should be reading 16. Our pounds are correct, although zone 3 is slightly off. I would still be confident in my function being more appropriate. And this is the understanding of real time. As you saw, each of the boxes go into each zone as they went blue. We are going to go offline to show you the math functions of the operation side behind. All right, so now we can go back to our zone conversion. This is kind of how I came up with the added weight using positive edge detection on my contacts. So I had a big problem not making my count work at all. And I figured maybe what was I doing wrong? And it had to be because of these positive edge contacts. So it took a while to get that to understand, but I finally got it. So this is the weight coming in for each zone, of course, zone 1, 2, and 3. So the weight coming in adds total to the weight as it constantly updates each zone. And it goes to our total weight, and it comes out as our total weight as an output. So if we go back to our B count, we can see that our box sorter zone comes in, basically triggering a counter up once a box comes in for zone 1, 2, and 3, and it outputs zone 1, zone 2, zone 3 as is in the main task, and this is what shows you the count. And we can turn this on. We can actually just look at this real fast, and you can see that we have it operating the way we want to. So we got 5 counts for zone 1. It should be 5. Come on, come on, come on, come on. 5, 15, and 16. And that's what we're looking at right here, 15 and 16. So that's what we're looking at with the main function going from 5, 15, and 16 in all 3 of these zones. And our weight is right here. Our total weight, as you can see, it goes from 53.3 to 374, and it should be the same thing. Yes. So, and that's what it also shows, that right here, 374 and 53. And this is my part 3 box count problem.